Welcome back to the Pilates Plus Wellness Center cooking channel. Our theme today will be quinoa. We'll be making a couple of dishes, and I want to share with you, if you're not used to using quinoa or if you've experimented with it but not really sure about the benefits, the beauty in using quinoa. It's a high source of protein, which is nice because if you're not eating meat, you have a nice protein source that you can add to your meals. Our first recipe today will be using quinoa, and then our second one today as well. It's also a great source of fiber. It really has almost double all the other fibers that you can get in other types of grains. So that's a great way to get fiber into your diet. It's rich in a lot of vitamins, which are a super source of energy and muscle repair and muscle growth. So it's a great idea to get quinoa into your diet. It's very super simple, easy to make. We'll show you some examples today. And the final thing I want to talk to you about the quinoa is it's really low on the glycemic index. So it's going to help you stabilize your blood sugar and not spike it like other grains and carbohydrates do. So we'll be back together in a minute, and we're going to be putting together a nice breakfast treat. Now, I told you earlier our theme today was quinoa, but we're going to be doing a breakfast treat, a really nice, filling, warm, hearty breakfast treat that combines quinoa and cauliflower. So I'll get started and show you the ingredients, and then we'll put it together. So today, I actually have a packet today, and it's got quinoa and oat in it. But you can determine what kind of oatmeal you might want to use. This one's a combination of organic quinoa and oats, and I'll show you that in a minute. And then I've got organic walnuts that I've chopped up. And remember, when you're looking for your nuts, you want to buy unpasteurized if you can, organic, raw, whole nuts, no oils and no salt. And it's amazing how they're really satisfying as a snack. Today I have an Ayurvedic ghee here, which is a clarified butter. This is going to be our healthy fat. A lot of benefits to using the ghee. And I made a fresh raspberry sauce today. It was basically so simple. A carton of raspberries, some raw honey, and water, and that's all it was. I boiled it down in a pan, and then of course put it in the Vitamix to blend it. And we're going to drizzle that into our cauliflower oatmeal this morning. So cauliflower is our theme. And basically, again, you want to look for a local cauliflower if you can, but if not, get an organic one. Make sure you rinse it well. And from time to time, I notice that as the cauliflower starts to decay or is oxidized, you'll get a little bit of those black spots on it. I just basically shave those off. And the cauliflower is to taste, so you can use as much or as little as you want. Today I boiled up about a half a head and then mashed it, but I just wanted to show you that as our ingredients. I also have one of our nut milks. This one happens to be a cashew milk, and on our other videos you can look up how to make the homemade nut milk. I'm only going to be using a splash of this, basically to moisten the oatmeal, but those are our ingredients. And what I'm going to do is get started with the oatmeal first and just put the actual oats and the quinoa into the dish. And you can make your oatmeal on the stove. I am not a fan of the microwave, but every once in a while, if you have to use it, just limit the amount of microwave use you use. I try to not use it more than maybe once a week for just a few seconds. So I'm basically boiled water, and I'm putting that in our container, and then I'm going ahead and just blending that up. Now that may be enough for you, or you could cook it on the stove first. Today, I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to microwave this for just a few seconds. The instructions tell you up to a minute and a half. We'll be back together in a minute, and we'll get ready to move the cauliflower into the dish. Welcome back. So what I have is about that half a head of small cauliflower that I basically boiled on the stove, simmered it for about 10 minutes. So what we'll do is we'll get this all mashed down, and then we're going to come back and we're going to put everything together. And again, since the cauliflower is to taste, you could do more or you could do less. And sometimes I'll go ahead and mash up and do the whole head and maybe make cauliflower crab cakes or make cauliflower mashed potatoes. And what I want to encourage you to do is to think about your cooking when you're doing it and do it in batches. So if you know later in the week you could benefit from having the cauliflower done, just get it all done at once. So you only have to wash it once, cut it once, mash it, and then you'll have it. So we'll be back together to put it all together in a second. Welcome back. So we have our quinoa and oats all ready. It's cooked at this point. It may be that when you're getting it ready, you'll have to add a little bit of the nut milk to it. The cauliflower is all done and it's mashed. And I'm going to take a couple of huge spoonfuls and just put that in. And again, encouraging you to batch food we'll just save what we have left over and maybe make a cauliflower crab cake or some mashed potatoes out of it. So I've got that already in our dish. Our oats are done. I'm just going to go ahead and stir that in. And if you're not a fan of cauliflower, don't be afraid, because it's not like you really taste it. It's just that you've added all of this fiber, this additional fiber on top of what you had with your quinoa right into your morning dish. It's a nice way to sneak your vegetables into your breakfast. So I'm going to just go ahead and grab some of the ghee out. And if for any reason your diet does not call for or allow you to have butter, you could always substitute this with something else. But I'm going to go ahead and put that in. Be really sure when buying your ghee and using ghee that you have sourced a really responsible product. In general, it's responsible to begin with because of the way it's raised and made. But it's a nice thing to have on hand. You can saute your vegetables in it. It's a really nice way to get that good fat into your diet. So we're basically done and ready to go, but we need something a little bit sweet. So we'll add a little bit of this fresh raspberry sauce. Now in a pinch, I'll add something like raisins or chopped up, maybe apricots, but I try to stay away from the dried fruit and try to put some fresh fruit in there. Now I do have to give my sweet daughter credit for this recipe because it was her recipe. She actually adds greens and other things to this as well. And you can do that too if you want to. You might just step into this first step with just the cauliflower. And I have some of the raw walnuts. And we are done for a fabulous breakfast. We'll give you a good screenshot at the end so you can see how it came together. And we'll see you next time. Thank you for joining us.